Received this email from Brad Trost telling me about something I want to pass on to you. The pro-life MP for Cypress Hills Grasslands, David Anderson, has introduced Bill C-418, a private member's bill to protect the freedom of conscience for doctors and other medical professionals. As we speak, doctors across Canada are being coerced and intimidated to violate their consciences with respect to euthanasia. This has already led some to quit their practice and others to move out of the country. This is something that's being promoted by Campaign Life Coalition as well. And they have this to say: 2 years ago, taking a patient's life was culpable homicide. Although the law now permits euthanasia, many doctors' consciences will not. The Supreme Court of Canada has explicitly said that the legalization of euthanasia did not entail a duty of physicians to provide it. However, many of the provincially based medical associations have introduced internal regulations compelling conscientiously objecting physicians to provide effective referrals for euthanasia, contravening this assurance. This happens without any penalty against the unconstitutional edicts of these regional associations. It's time to stand up for doctors and healthcare professionals who aren't willing to leave their core ethics behind when they're at a patient's bedside. The protection of conscience rights for medical professionals is part of protecting the fundamental freedom of conscience and religion guaranteed to all Canadians in the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Bill C-418, introduced by David Anderson of Cypress Hills Grasslands, amends the criminal code to make it an offense to intimidate a medical practitioner, nurse practitioner, pharmacist, or any other healthcare professional for compelling them to take part directly or indirectly in the provision of medical assistance in dying. It also makes it an offense to dismiss from employment or to refuse to employ a medical practitioner, nurse practitioner, pharmacist, or any other healthcare professional for the reason only that they refuse to take part indirectly or directly in the provision of euthanasia or assisted suicide. So this legislation is really short, and it was introduced in first reading on October 30th, 2018, but apparently is going to go to a vote towards the end of May. So I think in Brad Trost's email he said it was going to be May the 29th. So if this is something that you support, I encourage you to contact your member of parliament. Go to ourcommons.ca/parliamentarians and you can look it up according to your postal code. Let your member of parliament know that you support this. Because it's a private member's bill, it's really going to be left to each individual MP as to whether they support it or not. And this is the kind of legislation that when members of parliament hear from the public, it can sway them. They're not going to be whipped, hopefully, by their party whip, as it were, to vote a certain way. They're going to be free to vote with their own conscience and as they see fit on this issue. And having input from constituents helps with that effort. So by all means, let them know.